Okay, here we go. It didn't give me a choice. We're going to record, so I guess it's going to the cloud. All right, good morning. It is, it's the last day of the month.
Oh, you're muted.
Uh-oh.
Can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Just talk louder, maybe.
Okay, better?
I can't anyway.
Uh-oh. Okay. It's the last day of the month, and I thought this was going to be a perfect morning to talk about.
Can anybody else hear her, or is it just me?
Just you.
Oh. Let's see this.
Okay, are we good? All right, I'm going to keep going. Say something or raise your hand or yell out if you can't hear me or if something's weird, because I have no idea. I thought this would be a good Saturday to talk a little bit about sponsoring, bringing new clients on, bringing new coaches on, and one of the things that we've talked about over the last several weeks, each time we touch on a training, we talk about personal development. And we talk about bettering ourselves, getting comfortable in your skin, right? Understanding how in life we need to be better listeners, compassionate listeners. We need to just be aware of our surroundings. You just have to get a little bit better at all of that stuff. And you're going to have to find who talks to you with personal development. You're going to have to find that person or that thing. And we're going to be talking about it again in the future, but just taking some time to focus on yourself. And this business is people and relationships. So if we don't have those good skills, those soft skills like we've talked before, then it's hard for us to move forward as a team and individually. So we're going to talk today about sponsoring clients and sponsoring coaches. And I mean, a wealth of information here with all of the people who are on board. So this is going to be a definitely interactive training this morning. So I want to first talk to you about the formula of I plus U equals A. So I is identifying the people in your world and using different parameters for it that could possibly be the client, someone that maybe is not a client themselves, but a window to other people for clients, right? Identifying those people. And then the plus is the I plus Q, qualifying. And then the equals is the approach, okay? So what this means is that you want to write down the people in your world that, this is that list. We've talked about our list before, right? But this one, with this specifically, as you're honing your skills, if you've done your people you know list, and you're talking to all of those people and they all this could be your skill list. This is a list where, man, those people are really successful. They have a huge sphere of influence. They're really busy, all of those things, right? But they would be a great health coach because they're very empathetic. They help people. They're active in the community. All of those things. So we're going to identify what piece of the trilogy would work for these people. Identify the people and then identify the piece. That's going to be the approach. I'm getting confused. My notes are a little squirrely here. So we're going to identify the people, and then we're going to decide what the approach is going to be. What we're going to bring to the table. How we're going to talk to them about it. What we're going to say. Okay. So identify, qualify. Do you want them on your team? Do you like them? I mean, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, right? It's like, yes, we definitely want to have clients, and yes, we definitely want to bring coaches on because we can't do it all ourselves. But, you don't have to do it. You don't have to talk to people about coaching. I mean, clients you kind of have to do, but then you also have a mentor coach. So if you really can't stand them, you can bring them on and then your mentor coach can be a coach. But you need to like the people, okay? That's a big qualifier. And it needs to be fun for you to do, okay? Valerie, any input there with that? No?
Apparently not. Sorry.
I know it's just because you and I have talked about it, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing all of the points in that I need to bring in. Yeah, am I doing okay, everybody? Okay, so here's what we want to look for. We want to look for in clients. We want to look for integrated clients, people who are picking up the phone when you call them, people who are active in the program, who are active in your coaching group that you're in, that they're embracing the habits of health. They're not just using it as diet food. When you're talking to them about if they're checking calls and you're saying, so how are you sleeping? Oh, fine. I sleep fine. Or I've never slept. I sleep 2 hours a night. I've never. And not listening, right, to try to hear what they need to have to make a complete transformation. Because remember, that's what we are, Optavia, lifelong transformation. We're moving one day at a time. So they want to be integrated. They want to be open-minded for clients that you're talking to and also for possible coaches. Open-minded because they're willing to listen to what you have to say, right? I mean, we have to have open-minded people. My goodness, if we didn't have that if we didn't have that ourselves, we would not be successful, because the trainings in this business, you know, and the things that change, the food changes and the groups change, and we have to roll with the punches. We have to be open-minded to change. We have to be willing to listen to new things and change our way of thinking. So those are things that you really want to notice about people, all right? Just notice. Those are your observations. And you want to ask some questions, qualifying questions. So for clients, many coaches have used the theory that each time you do a check-in call, you should learn one new thing about your client. I know we get to know a lot of what's going on when we do the health assessment, but we should be a 2-hour process. Do, you know, those things and asking those questions. Then as we're moving through the program, we should find out one new thing, at least one new thing about their life, so that we can understand what's going on. And while we're doing that, we're going to find out if they're happy in their job, right? I always ask what you do for a living. I always ask that. What do you do for a living? You know, find out. Ask on the health assessment, and then as you go on in your client check-ins, your weekly check-ins, ask them. You know, so how's work going? How is that? You know, how is that 3-hour commute? Is it grating on you? I mean, I have one client that, you know, she's working 2 jobs and she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and she has a 3-hour commute. I just drove to San Francisco last night in Friday night traffic, and I thought I would lose my mind if I had to do that kind of stuff and that's just one way. They got to get home. So you want to ask those questions. Just ask. And if they have 2 or 3 jobs, ask, you know, is it because you love what you do? Is it financial? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask those things. And we've talked about that before with people, right? That's why we focus on the likes when we are making posts on Facebook, because those are the people who want to know but are afraid to ask. So it's our job to make it easy for them to ask. So that's why we private message them. There's no getting anybody. There's no hooking anybody. There's no talking anybody into doing anything. There's just putting it out there, asking if they'd like to chat. That goes back to that listening stuff, right? No one listens to anybody anymore. We're all so busy that just to say to people, not just, hey, how are you? You know, how are you today? How are things? How is your job? How is that commute? How is it with your last child leaving the nest? How is it with your son coming home and picking him up from the airport and he's visiting? Right? I mean, all of these people have all of these things that are so near and dear to their heart. And you need to know those things. And then once you find those things out, you'll realize what about what we have is for them. That's the approach. That's what you're qualifying. So you're not shooting a shotgun full of, well, we have meal replacements and we have this and you can have coaching and you can, You're not shooting the shotgun at them when you're talking to them. You're finding out through questions what part of what we have would be attractive to them, would be something they might like to explore some more. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We identify them, we decide about what the approach, and then we qualify them with the questions. That's how we decide if this is going to be a good match. Again, this is just coaches and clients are the same. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And our job is not to stand on the corner and take every 10 Mary Jo and Jacks that walk up and make them health coaches on our team. That's not what we want. I have been down that road, and it is not fun. We want people with us right now who are fun, who want to do it. We're not trying to make anybody do anything. Our coaches and our clients too, right? They do it at their own pace. We can guide them. We can give them the tools. We can answer questions as they go, but they go at their own speed. So, and we have a lot of contact with them. So that likability thing, if you don't like them, chances are they got a lot of people in their world that don't like them either. So we want to make sure that we're doing those things. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get a Doug Wood or a, Heidi Newfer, on your team that is a personality that's different from yours, but they go and they help the people. That's awesome. So we want to make sure that since we're working with them, it's a good relationship. Okay, I'm going to stop for just a minute. And I would like to about what I just said. I know everybody's little minds are working and you will thought stuff. So unmute yourself. There's a background here. And share. If this touched you, if you've used this, and then maybe share if you've recently brought on a coach or 2 or 3 or however many, what you did, what was the way that you did it, what worked for that person, rather than just what we talk about in Simple Systems with drip, 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 drip. Anything different? No?
I think everything that you said, Gwen, was right on, and in the Simple Systems is that candidate evaluation. I don't know if just this morning I was looking for that IQ&A.
Uh-huh.
You remember what it was? And anyway, so I found it. But something that I did recently with somebody, sometimes coaches have to watch for other coaches too, because noticing clients that are posting things, noticing clients that are very supportive in the client groups and commenting and trying to help people and actually even getting on the phone with, if they have struggles and stuff. I think that's a good way of qualifying them. So they don't always have to be just this, but just knowing that somebody's coachable, willing to try, even if the program isn't for them. Like Deb, she can't eat the foods, but she's an excellent coach. And so I think for me, just recently, it was because I saw somebody down the line, a few coaches, really being supportive in the client groups and being, a good influence on everybody. So there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
That was my experience lately.
Good. That's really good. Good stuff, Glenda. And that's the other thing too, right? It doesn't have to be about weight. It doesn't have to be about if that person has been has had a lot of weight to lose, or if maybe has had an issue like Deb with fuelings. But there's so many people that are successful with this that have not had any weight to lose. So identifying the people who are have the personality traits, right? That's what Glenda's talking about. Helping others.
Yeah, and just just asking them when they're doing all their posting in the client groups and being supportive, if they've ever thought of, maybe even just saying, gosh, I love that you're supporting everybody. Have you ever even considered the coach opportunity? And for them to say no, what is that? So it's not that we're like doing the work for our coaches or going over them or anything. We're just kind of on the lookout for them to help them, because it is all helping them.
Yep. And we coach as a family. We coach as a team, right? Mm-hmm. We changed that. We changed the pronouns, the I and the me, to the we and the our and the us. That's what we do. If you have somebody that's coming on, your coach might be a better fit for you. We still bring them on. They're still your clients, or they're still your coaches, but your mentor coach is the one who will help you out, because that's what we do here. That's what makes us different. That's that thing that you can't put your finger on with this business. There's no quotas. You've lost them forever. Your mentor coach will bring you on for celebrations. It's just, we coach as a family. And Glenda and Susie talked about that on the team call on Tuesday night. And really, I hung up the phone and told my husband, this is the epitome of coaching with an our and a we and an us. Because Glenda introduced a new coach, and it was Susie's coach. They had Susie's line. And it was just amazing, really. That was very cool, Glenda. Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing. Anybody had any successes this week with talking to clients, or just talking about exploring coaching? Dee, you've unmuted. Want to talk?
Sorry, I'm having audio problems.
I can hear you. No, now you muted again. Oh. Do you want to talk or not? It's okay.
Sorry, I'm having audio problems.
It's
I'm
okay.
catching every other word.
Okay, sorry. It's okay. It's okay. I just saw you unmuted. I want to make sure you didn't want to talk. Okay.
I'm just trying to hear.
Well, Gwen, you cut out every once in a while for me too.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's just the internet.
Yeah. It's probably a hamster in a cage.
Marilyn raised her hand.
Marilyn, unmute Marilyn.
Oh, I just wanted to say she cuts out with me too. But I like what you guys all had to say, and Glenda's been a great coach for me, helping me along the way, and other people in the team. So I really feel that our and family is important, and it is important, and it helps me a lot to know that I'm not out there alone. So I know it helps others.
Good. Yay. I totally agree. Okay, so go ahead, Glenn.
This is a phrase that I sometimes will use with my clients and coaches, and I'll put it out there if it works for you, and that is to ask them how I might pray for them, because that actually gets at something that's a little bit deeper than how are you doing.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And if you're going to ask the question, please pray for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't say it, not do it. That's worse than, go Valerie.
Well, just this week I followed up with a number of things that I've laid out there, and yesterday was a crazy day. I was telling it's like people were coming out of the woodwork asking me what I do. Can I explain some more? Anyway, so it was a big day for interested calls, and I followed up with a coach interested that I had done a couple of weeks ago. with a guy who's a personal trainer, doesn't need the, he doesn't need it for himself, but it's an opportunity that he can bring it into his client base potentially. And I had seen, we had done an interested call, and I've sent him a couple of explore, opportunity videos to look at, but we hadn't circled around again since then. And so I just reached out and said, I saw that someone had asked a question on his wall that was about, I just can't get my calories low enough to, lose the weight. And and when I work out too much, and I'm just so hungry and I can't And they had this little exchange, and so I messaged him. I said, you saw that Janice's, question in there? That's what this program can do for her. You can solve all of her, all of the concerns she brought up with our program that we talked about. When shall we chat again, is how I left it in text. And so he messaged me back and said, yeah, how about Monday, 10 o'clock? And then come to find out, just this week he was laid off from his primary job. So now he's going to be focusing on personal training.
Wow.
So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but it was just me paying attention to kind of what was going on in his wall and in his world a little bit, and just continuing to drip and share. And I have another guy that I did that with, and I'm to the point now where it's like, this is in my mind and in his too, it's a great fit, but he's not throwing the ball back with the kind of energy I would like. So I don't know that I want him on my team. So when he wants to throw the ball back with more effort, then I will happily embrace him. But I'm kind of done, exerting my influence over that situation.
So Valerie, what do you equate your day yesterday? What changed for you over the last couple of weeks? What's changed in what you've done with your business?
Well, in general, like you noted in another, as we've talked about the 3x3x3, I've been way more consistent in the things that I do, posting, and just a little more aggressive in terms of what I talk about to people. So that's basically what's changed. And here we go, like 2 months ago, I kind of started this trend. Not 100%. I'm not perfect at it. There are days when I don't post anything and, whatever. And yesterday it was like crazy. It was like, seriously, what is happening? So I did 5 interested calls yesterday, all from people going, I'm ready. And I had 3 people come back out of, the past. It was just a crazy, crazy day. I was on the phone. It was grand fun. But I think it's laying those seeds. It's reminding people this is what I do. And when you're in consistent action, then folks pay attention. And also with the before and afters, Jamil has said, don't be afraid to post before and afters every day, whatever, and that was, I had done 2 basically back to back. I hadn't done that in a while, but it got people's attention. I'm sure of it. So anyway.
That's the word I heard in there was consistency. It really doesn't even matter if you do the highest level of everything that Simple Systems talks about, but if you just do whatever you do consistently, right? And if you can, she's talking about social media, you guys. She's talking about these people coming from her social media posts. You're looking at 5 and 1, 5 living out loud posts, things you're doing. A picture of your Pampers that you bought because you're going to have a new baby and you used all your coupons, a picture of your dog, a picture of your hummingbirds, a live video of someplace that you're at, a picture of your cute little grandkids, and then a before and after. And then a picture of the sunset and a picture of your yard that you're working on, whatever it is you're passionate about. This is not fluff here, because this is stuff that people are getting to know you with. These are not things and it's hard because I feel like a weirdo with selfies, It's like I think, why am I taking a picture? But post things like that, and people are engaged, and then you realize that they're excited about stuff. Or better yet, I posted my picture about my Pampers thing and how I was a GG couponer now, and people need to know how to coupon. So now here, look, there's this whole need of new mommies that don't know how to stack coupons and find sales and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But you have to do that. Valerie did that. Valerie has not been doing that. She's doing it consistently. And did you hear her? I'm not doing it 100%, but it's okay. I'm doing it. And those before and after pictures, embrace them. And don't do it willy-nilly. Keep track of who you've posted. Make a folder or put them someplace. Create an album in your Facebook, right? Successful clients, you know, hot mamas, you know, and then handsome fellas, or, you know, whatever, but put them in there and put their name so that when you're looking back on them, you know, you can see who they are. But don't be afraid to do it, and put the ones that speak to you, and pay attention to that voice. Pay attention, because when I'm looking for one to use, and it talks to me. I go buy a whole bunch of them that I could use and look at, and I've seen it, but they're not what I need right now. And usually if you pay attention to that, it's because you feel like that's what your business needs. You're paying attention to that internal, you know, feeling that this is what I need to do right now. I need to do a fella. I need to do a doctor. I need to do a new mommy. I need to do a couple. I need to do a bride that lost her weight before her wedding. Pay attention to what talks to you. And please know, you guys, that these do not have to be your personally sponsored clients. And always make sure that the before and after picture that you put has our little qualifier disclaimer on the bottom. That has to be there. So if you see a before and after picture on someone else's page, please don't use it if it doesn't have it, if you don't know how to add it. Any of my coaches can use any of my things, except that sometimes we all have mutual friends. So you don't want to use the same one, because all of our friends are seeing the same before and after. So transformation, we have a file that has before and afters. And we have other clients that have them, and I have a file. So if you guys, I think is there a folder system for before and afters?
I don't know.
There is.
Yeah. I think there is. There's a link. Yep, there is.
You want me to find it and put it in Transformation Tribe?
You can if you want to. I think it's there already, Glenda, but you can if you want to.
Okay.
So here's can I move on here for just a second, and then we'll do a wrap up real quick. Okay. So one of the statistics that I heard on a call that I did a while back, and I couldn't find it this morning, but I was thinking about what this trainer said, and he said a couple of statistics that are very telling, is that 1 in 5 of our clients have no savings at all, zero. They don't have $5 in the bank. And 3 of each 5 clients are not satisfied in their current jobs. There's more statistics about that, but those 2 things are huge, because we have this. We have, you know, making $500 extra a month can be enough for people to keep a house, or to buy their food, or to pay for their health insurance. So we have to make sure that we're not coming from a place of fear, that we're coming from a place of abundance and positive expectation, right? We know that this will work. We know that this will help them. And if you have that demeanor and you just come from that place, people are attracted to that. And when you tell them, I really truly, you know, this is the approach. I really truly think that this is something that could help you with these things. They're gonna believe you. They're looking for hope. There's so many out there that are looking for hope in so many different things. And we bring so much to the table with Optavia and with our, empathetic and compassionate health coaching that we're the deal. We're the real deal. And we get paid to do it, you guys. It's pretty fun. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Anybody want to add anything before we sign off? Susie?
Yes. I just was texting Valerie, and I don't know, how you guys feel about this, but I was telling her that we owned a gym for 24 years, and I was a personal trainer. So if she wanted to do a 3-way call with this person, if he had questions, I would be available. And I just think it would be really cool if we knew what everybody's strengths was and shared like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea that was part of your wheelhouse. So that's awesome.
That's really cool. Maybe we'll start a thread in Transformation Tribe. Maybe we'll start a thread in there about.
Yeah. Because look at Deb, being a massage therapist. I've talked to massage therapists and it was like, wow, I wish I would have even thought of that.
Right.
Getting her on the call.
Right. Yeah. Cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. And it is that way too, right? We think we don't know exactly, and it's not even just what we do for a living, what we specialize in, but it's what our strengths are. I am so much better at certain things than I am at other things. So as we get on these calls and we hear and we talk and we chat in this community, you're going to hear people when they talk that are just going to ring a chord with you. Sometimes it's individually. Sometimes you get off the call and people say, I really like the way I like you. And I'd really like to do a call, a mentor call, or a chat call. Would you be up for that? Absolutely. I fit it into my schedule and we do it. And I do the same thing, right? So again, we got to get out of that me, mine, and I. We have to get into the ours and we and us. That is huge. And again, that's the approach. That's what we want to bring people into. We want to bring them to the Sun family. We want to bring them here to have fun with us as a client. We want to bring them here to have fun with us. Training is not kids. We want to approach. We want to portray. So I'm going to end this with some questions to ask yourself about you personally, and then to think about when you're talking to clients or exploring with coaches. So ask yourself, with your life, are you doing what you truly want to do? Is there anything you can't let go of, but you should? Are you afraid of making mistakes even though there's no punishment? What's the difference between you and most of the other people in the world? And have I built my character? Just some things to think about. Just things to think about with yourself. That's personal development. And that's the kind of thing, those are the kind of little things that you end on and you think, what would I change? What would I do? Where would I go? Who would I be? What do I want to be when I grow up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks. Great Saturday. All right. Are we good?
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to stop recording.